When you are seeing someone going out with someone, then it is important that you should be honest, truthful, and be comfortable around the person that you are dating. And it is also a very good time to establish some ground rules to run things smoothly for your relationship. And today we are going to talk about what are dating boundaries, different types of boundaries, and how to set dating boundaries. And now let's discuss what are dating boundaries. And dating boundaries is the limits of the person that a person could handle, could bear maximum, that a person could go to extent. And this is the dating boundary. And dating boundaries aren't fixed, and once you set them, they can be flexible. You can change them according to you and your partner's convenience. And dating boundaries are keep on changing according to you and your partner's needs and requirement. It is important to keep in mind open communication is the key for developing, for the growth of any relationship. Dating boundaries allow you to have the healthy individual space that you need for the peace of your mind, and it is important to start the relationship with the clear mindset. Let's discuss different types of dating boundaries, and there could be various types of dating boundaries, and it depends upon person to person and relationship to relationship, how people view and perceive things and how they set things, what are their limits. But generally we can categorize boundaries into 5 basic categories. And first of all is intellectual boundary. Intellectual boundary mean respecting the views, ideology, and belief system of your partner. We are living in a world of social media, technology. People are migrating from one part to another part of the world. Everyone has a different background, has gone through different types of experiences. It doesn't mean you have to agree with your partner all the time. It means you have to respect the views of your partner. And if there are things that are deal breaker that could turn off the mood of your partner, you have to agree to disagree on some things with your partner, and your partner has to do the same thing with you. And if you and your partner's values aren't matching up, and if your partner doesn't respect your belief system, your ideology, your views, then you should end the relationship from the start, because they would create a bigger mess later on in the relationship. And second type of boundary is material boundary. Material boundary means money and financial matters, asset of you and your partner. When you start seeing someone, when you start going out with someone, initial stages in the relationship, then material things and financial matters, they don't come up. They usually come up later in the stages of any type of relationship. But you should be careful and cautious, pay attention on the small things, like who is always forgetting the wallet, who is always paying the bills, because they would help you to know about the other person, about the financial capabilities of you and your partner. And for instance, if you want to establish a long-term relationship with someone and you like someone seriously, then you should discuss financial things with your partner. Like for instance, you and your partner's income separately. How are you going to divide the cost in terms of rental cost, expenses, groceries, bills, building costs, and other things? And you should be clear about these things, about financial matters, and both partners should be on the same page. If you avoid these things, then one of the partner would end up paying up all the bills and all the costs. And third is emotional boundary. Emotional boundaries mean respecting you and your partner's feelings, and you respect your partner's feelings and emotions, and your partner respect yours as well. And when you are setting emotional boundaries, it is important that you should detach your feelings, your emotions from your partners, and you don't have to allow your partners allow your partner's emotions and feelings to control you. It means your emotional health, your peace of mind, your feelings matters, and you don't have to compromise over your feeling for the pleasure and for the happiness of your partner's feelings. And if you don't set emotional boundaries, then it will end up compromising. It will end up you compromising emotionally, blackmailing in the relationship. And fourth type of boundary is sexual boundary. Sexual boundaries mean your convenience in terms of who, when, where you would have the physically intimate sexual intercourse with. And it also, sexual boundaries also falls in the category of your comfort level, your positions, and your convenience and your consent. All of these things also falls under the category of sexual boundaries. And if you want to explore your sexuality and want to do the name calling, comments, and do the various types of things, role playing, then you should discuss these things with your partner, and both partners should be on the same page. Physical boundaries means hugging, touching, cuddling, kissing, holding hand. All of these things fall under the category of physical boundaries. Your space, your privacy of your things, your wallet and your mobile phone also fall in the category of physical boundaries. And if your partner doesn't respect your physical boundaries, then you should be cautious about it. And if you don't want your partner to go through your phone, your messages, your alert notification, then you should discuss it with your partner. You have the right to privacy, you have the right to physical boundaries, and you should discuss it, and you should be you are right on your view. And now let's discuss the tips on how to set dating boundaries. And first of all is you decide your feelings. When you are setting dating boundaries, when you are setting the ground rules, then it is important that you should take all the time that you need. And for instance, if a problem arises in the relationship, later in the relationship, especially when people set weak boundaries and they don't follow up on them, they don't care about these things, and those boundaries mixed up with other things. When you are setting dating boundaries, then you should be careful about it, and you should be strict about it, that these are the boundaries, and you should respect those boundaries, and your partner should do the same. And you should also reflect on the relationship in terms of boundaries, that the boundaries that you have set, whether they are making any difference in the relationship or not. If you want to discuss something serious with your partner, then it is important that you should go and meet your partner discuss these things at the neutral place, like the park, restaurant, or something neutral. If you haven't decided the topic, but you are interested in the person and you want to discuss things, then you should definitely meet at the neutral place. It would allow you to have the level play field, because the neutral place would give you a competitive edge, and your partner would have the same thing, and you would discuss these things openly, honestly, truthfully, and comfortably. Before setting dating boundaries or setting any types of ground rules, it is important that you should brainstorm yourself and your views, your ideologies, your non-negotiable things. What are the things that turn off your mood? Many times, often we don't know about these things, but you should be careful about things. What are the things that turn off your mood? And you should be careful about while discussing these things, you should be careful about it. Tell your partner partner straightforward. These are the things, they are non-negotiables, and if your partner respect those non-negotiable things, then everything is right. Otherwise, you simply go away, go separate ways. After discussing non-negotiable things and your ground rules, you should simply pause and listen to your partner, because your partner wants your undivided attention, and listening is the most important part in the relationship. For instance, if you don't understand something, then ask questions for clarifications, and if you agree to something without listening, without paying attention, without even fully understanding it, then it would create a bigger mess, more problems, difficulties, issues in the relationship later on. It is important to keep in mind that you set dating boundaries, ground rules in the relationship for you and convenience of your partner, in order to avoid conflicts, arguments, guilty feelings, guilty conscience, and other types of relationship issues. You want to avoid all of these type of issues in the relationship later at any stages, then you should discuss ground rules with your relationship. And after discussing those things, you should simply go out in the country, meditate, practice yoga for the clarity of your mind, and for your mental peace, and for your physical peace. And if you should never feel bad for speaking up for yourself. If your partner wants to make you feel bad about setting boundaries, about speaking up for yourself, then you should definitely stay away from that person, because that person would never respect your boundaries, your limits, would never respect your views, your intellectuality, and your recognize your things, your capabilities, and your traits. And that's what dating boundaries is all about. And we have discussed it in details. What are dating boundaries, different types of dating boundaries, and 5 major types of dating boundaries, and tips on how to set dating boundaries. And if you have any question, just leave it in the comment box below. I'll answer it to you. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time it is in your part of the world.